Good morning, students. Today, in our social science class, we are going to start our new chapter of Civics. The name of the chapter is Constitutional Design. Here, in this chapter, we are going to read about the Constitution, how the Constitution was made, what is the meaning of the Constitution, and what are the things written in the Constitution. First of all, what is a constitution? The basic rules that the citizen and the government have to follow are called as constitution. That means rules and regulations which each and every citizen of our country and the government of our country have to follow it. The constitution is the supreme law of the country. That means whatever is written in the constitution, these laws had to be followed by each and every person of the country. The constitution determines the rights of citizens, the powers of the government, and how the government should function. That means they are trying to say that in constitution, whatever the rights citizen has been given, whatever the powers the government have, and how the government should work, all these things are written in the constitution. Towards a new constitution, that means the constitution makes it clear that in the search for the solution to the problem, nobody should be excluded, no one should be treated as a demon, everybody should become part of the solution. Whatever they might have done or represented in the past. That means new constitution of the countries says that each and every person is not above the constitution. Each and every person should be part of the constitution. Solutions should be done according to the rules and regulations that are written in the constitution. And whatever they have done in the past, they must not repeat in the present. Now, why do we need a constitution? A constitution of a country is a set of written rules that are accepted by all people living together in a country. That means whatever rules and regulations are written in the constitution, each and every person who is living in the country, they have to accept it. मतलब उसे उन्हें ग्रहण करना पड़ेगा, स्वीकारना पड़ेगा. Constitution is the supreme law that determines the relationship among people living in a territory, so-called citizens. What they are saying that whatever the rules and regulations are written in the constitution, they are clarifying us the relationship between the people of the same territory and also the relationship between the people and the government. A constitution does many things. They are saying that what should be the relationship between the common people and the government of that country. Now, what does a constitution has? It generates a degree of trust. That means लोगों में विश्वास पैदा करना and coordination that is necessary for different kinds of people to live together. मतलब संविधान लोगों में विश्वास पैदा करता है, साथ साथ में वह कोऑर्डिनेशन एकता बनाए रखता है जो अलग अलग धर्म के जाति के लोग एक साथ एक जगह पर रहते हैं उनके बीच में. It specifies how the government will be constituted, who will have power to take which decision, और वह गवर्नमेंट को भी स्पष्ट कर देता है कि कैसे रूल्स एंड लॉज को इम्प्लीमेंट करना है और किसके पास कितनी पावर होगी और कौन डिसीजन लेगा. It also lays down limits on the powers of the government. That means government are also restricted, limited to some powers that are written in the constitution and tells us what the rights of the citizens are, and they also say what are the rights, अधिकार हमें जो दिए गए हैं. It expresses the aspiration of the people about creating a good society और लोगों के बीच में एकता की भावना जागरूक करते हुए एक अच्छे समाज में किस तरह से रहा जाता है वह भी हमें बताता है. Now, what is the reality? All countries that have constitution are not necessarily democrat. Children, hear what they are saying. The countries who are following the constitution, in reality, they are not fully democratic. But all countries that are democratic will have constitution. और वो कह रहे हैं कि जिन कंट्रीज़ में डेमोक्रेसी है उसमें निश्चित तौर पर उनके पास संविधान, रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस होते हैं. Now, after the War of Independence against the Great Britain, America gave themselves a constitution. That means the war fought between Great Britain and America, in which America gave themselves a constitution. That means America ने Great Britain को संविधान दिया. After the revolution, the French people approved a democratic constitution. You have learned in your first chapter that after the French Revolution, a new constitution was written for the French people, and that became the ideal for the country, and it was fully democratic. Since then, it has become a practice in all democracies to have a written constitution. That means here they are saying that after these all events that took place all the world around, it was compulsory that all those countries who are following the democracy, they should have a written constitution. Now, do we need a constitution? क्या हमें constitution की ज़रूरत होती है? Every country drafts its own constitution. मतलब हर देश अपना खुद का संविधान लिखता है. A constitution of a nation is the set of written laws accepted by people living together in a country. What they are saying that constitution एक particular देश का रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस का वह ग्रुप है, संगठन है जो कि लिखा गया है और जिसे हर देश के नागरिक को स्वीकार करना होता है. इट जनरेट ट्रस्ट एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन. ये लोगों के बीच में विश्वास और कोऑर्डिनेशन बनाता है. इट स्पेसिफाइज हाउ अ गवर्नमेंट शुड बी कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड. इसमें ये भी बताया गया है कि कैसे गवर्नमेंट को अपनी कंट्री को चलाना है. It also lays down limits on the powers of the government. It expresses the aspiration of the people about creating a good society. Now, these were all the reasons why we need a constitution. After that, we have the next topic, that is making of Indian Constitution. That means how the Indian Constitution was made. The making of the constitution for a huge and diverse country like India was not an easy affair. That means people here are living with different languages, different caste, and different religion. For such a huge and vast country with a lot of diversity, it was very difficult to draft a constitution that will be accepted by each and every one. Now, here, the people of India were emerging from states of subject to that of citizens. That means after the independence, now अलग अलग स्टेटस के लोग, अलग अलग राज्यों के लोग एकजुट होकर एक पर्टिकुलर देश के नीचे रहने आ रहे थे. The country was born through a partition on the basis of religious differences. At least 10 lakh people were killed on both the sides of border in partition related violence. Here they are trying to say that during the time of partition, many different religious peoples they were forced to move from one place to another. 10 lakh people were killed from both the sides. The British has left it to be the rulers of the princely states to decide whether they want to merge with India or with Pakistan or remain independent. The merger of these princely states was difficult and uncertain task. That means they are saying for the makers of the constitution, it was very difficult to bring the princely states with India and to join with the Indian state. When the constitution was being written, the makers of the constitution had anxieties about the present and the future of the country. Here what they are saying, when the constitution makers they were writing the constitution, उनको ये विश्वास नहीं था कि इतने बड़े राज्य के लिए प्रेजेंट और फ्यूचर के बारे में सोचकर कैसे रूल्स एंड लॉज लिखे जाएंगे. Now after that we have the path of constitution. That means what were the sources of the Indian constitution that were being adopted to make a single Indian constitution. इसका मतलब है कि कहाँ कहाँ से अलग अलग देशों से संविधान को इकट्ठा कर कर एक रूप देकर और फिर भारत का संविधान लिखा गया था. हमारे भारत के संविधान में ब्रिटेन, अमेरिका, सोवियत, कैनेडियन, साउथ अफ्रीकन, आयरिश और जो इंडियन एक्ट पास करा गया था 1935 में, ऑस्ट्रेलियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, यह सारे देशों के कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को मिला जुला कर भारत का एक संविधान लिखा गया था. होप चिल्ड्रन you have understood this much of the chapter. Rest we will continue in the next class. Thank you.